Hi, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Although I'm the Grinch, I don't think, I can you even see it? There we go. Grinch, naughty Grinch. All right, we're going to have some fun tonight. It's going to be pretty casual here. We're going to hang out. I know a lot of people are probably traveling. I don't know how it works this week. Christmas is on Thursday, right? So I suspect, I don't know, when will people travel for that? I don't even know because you want to be to family if you're traveling. Um, Depending, some people go that day, but if you're traveling like to spend the nights for a few days or whatever, you travel a little bit earlier. We do have Braden, he's coming here in a couple of days. So I guess that's, does that mean Tuesdays when everybody travels? I don't know. Maybe they're traveling today, maybe they'll be here, maybe they won't. Either way, I hope you're having a happy holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever. Anybody, whatever you celebrate, I hope you're having a great week. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, nothing too serious here. Look, but look, we've got a green screen wall. It has been painted, double coated. So I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with that soon. We'll see. Oh, too hot. What works into videos and whatnot. I am getting a little bit of advanced editing and After Effects going on this week. A couple of exciting things that I can't really show you or share. Um, because a lot of it has to do with the work stuff. But let's do hellos. Oh wait. So we also don't have a couch in here. I don't know what's going to go on with that or how we're going to work this. We got to say hi to the dogs. They're still in here. You guys got to sit. Sit. We'll give you a treat. Sit. No, you got to. At least they don't got to go on the couch because you guys know how that has been going lately. Wait. Take. Bit my finger. All right, one more to get these dogs started, and say hello since they are not props up. Tape, good girls. All right, I don't know what we're gonna do with the couch. The couch is gonna be a pain to take in and out because obviously I can't do any recording for green screen effects if it's in here, unless I take the pegs or the whatever you call them off the couch, then it would be easier to move in and out. But I Paula did question me because I moved it maybe 2 days after my lifting restrictions were off. I was like, I don't know, I'm allowed to do what I want, and I slid it. So the couch is out for tonight, obviously. I don't think it's gonna come back in. We got, now that the markets are over, the in the basement is relatively finished. We Paula's got all her stands in one corner of the basement over there, and we've got a couch and a love seat now, and a little the dog kennel and food and all the stuff and the birds over here. So I don't know. Our basement's kind of nice now. I don't really want to mess with it. So we might not have the couch in here, but I don't know. I might have to come up with a way to have the dogs on display for you because you guys can't see them right now. Look, where are they at? They're here. They're here. Can you get up, Dallas? Who wants up? Somebody get up. Come on, up. And she doesn't know what to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do if she actually jumps up. Come on, can you put your paws up? Put your paws up. Come on. Come on. I'm not acting very grinchy, am I? Come on. Get up here. Get up here. Somebody get up here. Come on, Pippa. Come on. Who wants up? I don't know. It's going to be a disaster no matter what I do. We'll figure. Am I yelling? Oh, we got Floss first in the house and second in the house. Although, okay, so she said hi before StreamYard kicked it all off, but I feel like somebody else had said hi. So I was going to give her gold and silver, but I was like, I don't remember who was the second person on the original before it all went away. So I don't know if you get first and silver, but you get gold and maybe silver. I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't matter. We got Crystal with Destinations Delight saying Merry Christmas to everybody. If you're still here, Merry Christmas to you as well. Hope everything's going well out in Michigan. Scrolling. There's Floss again. Yes, gold and silver, please. Thank you very much. I love it. There's my exotic Canadian wife sitting upstairs having her nice. Her Sundays are kind of her relaxation day, right? Because all these markets and everything were on Fridays and Saturdays. Although last week was Sunday, as you guys hung out with us as we were trying to get home and get everything in order for the rest of the week. And oh my goodness, it's weird because she did what, 5 of those in a row on the weekends, and now it's like, what do we do with our weekends? What do we do? We I don't know. I could just start working again. I don't. Scrolling. Let's do more hellos. We got Brandon in the house. While I'm thinking of it, Brandon was going to be a guest on January 11th, but we're moving it up to January 4th. So right after the new year, we're going to keep doing these Sunday lives. And Brandon will be here on the 4th. So if you want to meet Brandon, I've never got to meet the guy or seen him on camera, so it's exciting for me. He's watched us for years now. We'll talk about his new business and scuba and all of that fun stuff. We'll see where the conversation goes. I know Nate, the other Nate, who traveled to Europe and who was traveling. He posted something like how many countries, how many states, and whatnot on Facebook recently. And I should have pulled it up. I would have told you guys, but he texted me the day after on the last Monday. It was like, oh my goodness. I was out and I forgot the date, but he still really wants to do it. And I just said, well, we do it every Sunday. Uh, I'm not too worried about it. We got everything ready, so just let me know what Sunday you want to do it. We'll have Nate. I still really look forward to that conversation. I've seen all the pictures. We've got a picture rolled together, um, and permission to share them. But we'll wait till he's here so we can kind of get the background to the pictures and whatnot. But so we'll see on that one, and we move Brandon's up 1 week to January 4th. So all good stuff, all exciting stuff, and we'll keep doing the lives every weekend just because Sundays don't seem to be on New Year's or Christmas or anything, or really where people are going to be um, really distracted with family or festivities. So we'll keep doing them. If people keep showing up, we'll keep doing them until January 18th, which is when we're leaving. So we won't be doing it the 18th, the 25th, and probably when that second. No, that can't be right. Whatever that other, there'll be a break of 3 Sundays because we're going to be in Fiji. We're going to be enjoying ourselves, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you all about it, and you guys can ask questions, and we'll have fun with that. Oh, I meant to. There he is, Kyle with Ringo and Czar saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to myself, Paula, and I'm sure everybody else out there as well. There's Debbie saying hello. Welcome in, Debbie. Merry Christmas to you. We got Marianne, how's it going? Our friend from Iowa who lived right down the street, I think from where I worked back in the day. I always kind of chuckle about that. It was such a small world, right? I am not, this is actually, well, I put the Santa hat on, right? So I have and of course I put it on naughty. I'll put it back on, but it gets hot real quick in here because it's cold outside. So the heater is going, and this is one of the rooms that the heat actually goes into, so it warms up real quick. Plus, all the hot air I blow and the computers and the dogs, it gets hot in here real quick. So we'll try to keep it on. While we're looking at that, let's see. We did a little survey, a little poll, just to have some fun. I don't know if I can pull it up or how I do this, but I'm going to look at it. 60% of you. How many people voted? 10 votes. Okay, nice, easy, round numbers. It's still open if you guys want to vote it. If it changes, no big deal. 60% of you are nice. Did I vote? I don't even know if I got to vote. 40% are naughty. Naughty, it can be a little bit more fun to be naughty at times. At times. But I think Santa still shows up. I don't know. I've not tested it, right? But yeah, these hats. So we have a place called PV Mart. This tag's still on this. I bought 4 of these. And it closed down, so they had some really good deals earlier in the year. And we were at my sister's last Christmas down in Tennessee. And so this year it was like, okay, we're doing Christmas, we're doing lights, we're gonna build it up. Braden's gonna come home, all that stuff, to make sure that Paula got to see her boy for Christmas and all of that. And so, anyways, PV Mart was closing. I got 4 of these hats for, I think they were $1 each. It was one of the very last days that they were open for sale, and they had a bunch of them. So I said, I can find a use for $4 for 4 of these hats. So what a great steal. Sad that the store is closing, although I will say, in Paula and my opinion, they were rather expensive. So I can see where people stop going to them, even though it sucks for a small town to lose a store that's been open for a while. But they catered more to farmers and such anyways. We got Water Girl in the house. How's it going, Water Girl? Hope the family's doing well. Haven't seen you for a while. Merry Christmas. Hope all is well with you. Much love. Merry Christmas, she says. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you and Waterboy and the family out there. Oh, I must have skipped her. Because then Debbie, and I pulled Debbie up and Marianne first. I'm sorry about that, Water Girl. Scrolling. there is the Seahawks fan, Lily, who must be celebrating. We'll talk maybe a little football a little bit later. There's been some crazy games this week, and my eye is twitching. Is my eye twitching, guys? Something got in it. I feel like something's in my eye. Oh no! Oh no! What are we gonna do? But yeah, the way it's all shaped up, I really think the Rams are a strong team, but the Seahawks beat them. It was one heck of a game. Craziest 2-point conversion I've ever seen. I'm sure Lily's thrilled about that. But what it boils down to now is Seahawks or 49ers, whoever wins all their games, one of them is against each other. As long as you win all your games, you're get number one for the playoffs and a bye in the playoffs, which I would have never suspected the 49ers after the injuries would be in even have that hope. And don't get me wrong, I'm not getting my hopes up really high because the Seahawks are really good. Plus the 49ers play the Bears, which was another crazy game last night against the Packers. They're really good. We got to play them next week, and we still got tomorrow night that we got to win. So against the Colts, which is a good team, although they've been kind of sliding. So we'll see. We will see. But I'm thrilled just to have a shot at number one. I would be happy just to make the playoffs and give it a go. We'll see. I don't even think last I checked they had a time. They have that game scheduled the last week of the year, so two Sundays from now, that would actually be on the 4th. I was gonna say, so I gotta wait to see, but no, Brandon's gonna be here on the 4th, so we will be live no matter what. I've already promised Brandon that. So we'll see when that game gets scheduled. Who knows? Thank you, W. Please hit the thumbs up. Yes, let's do that right now. Let's give them their treat bones. Let's do the treat bones. You guys know I always appreciate the thumbs up. I used to say we need 14 or 15 thumbs up, or anyways, we don't do that anymore. All right, you guys you sit back on camera. Come on, back here. Sit. They gotta see. Oh, that's good doggos. Which one are you looking at, Dallas? Dallas is looking like she wants to take both. Wait. Take. Good girls. Good girls. All right. Whoop. Try not to make you guys dizzy there. All right. What else we got? Got bank card hacked. Shopping donors. That's not good. Luckily, in the U.S. and Canada, there's some good protections. I won't get into all that stuff because part of that's my job. The bank has to actually give you. They don't have to give you your money back. They have to do an investigation, and it's got to be reasonable. But there's a little bit of wiggle room for the banks. Most of them actually contractually have to give you a lot of money back with their contracts through Visa and MasterCard. But hopefully that all got sorted out. Yeah, that's not how we want everybody else to get their Christmas presents. It's actually funny. I just put up on my business channel for YouTube a song to help banks get CRA credit, Community Reinvestment Act credit, for when they go to a nursing home and sing. I made a song using AI and did a little video. The video could use work, but I posted it last week on senior fraud awareness, right? So when we get into financial education, when people are younger, it's budgeting and that type of thing you get into. Middle years, you're talking how to save up and different loan programs for homes and stuff. And when you're doing financial education for seniors, a lot of it's fraud awareness. And you get that phone call about your grandkids in jail and needs money wired immediately to get out of jail, and they're crying, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so it was a fun little short that I did for that, and actually got it shared out a little bit on LinkedIn. So it's good for the business as well. Sorry, I got distracted. You talked about bank card fraud. Made me think of that. Scrolling. Oh, look at this. We got some new people in here. Holidays. I don't know. People are sitting around, traveling, sitting in the airport, sitting in the car. EA Chevry. Now, hopefully they're still here. 12 minutes after they said hi. Beautiful dogs. Thank you so very much. Dallas and Pippa, for years and years, star of the show. They're, let's not lie, they're still the stars of the show. Dallas is just like, I know there's treats up there, Dad. I'm going for a week like last week when we celebrated. Was it last week? No. The week before was. Oh my gosh, the weeks are running together. No, last week was the last market. The week before was Dallas's 10th birthday, basically. Oh goodness, scrolling. Yeah, about that the bank card fraud, or yeah. It should typically it's relatively easy to get sorted out. So hopefully you were able to get in contact with your bank and they're doing you right. Let's see here. Floss says, I just saw a fluffy tail. Yeah, if you guys have ideas on how to do this, how to get them where they're still part of the show, I just don't know because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos for work. So getting that couch in and out of here when it's right outside in the other room, in the main room of the basement, and there's room for it out there. I don't know, but I've got to do some thinking on that. I don't really want to do a raised platform that's wobbly and they're gonna get hurt on. But I don't think I want to bring the couch back in here either. As comfortable as that couch is for a nice nap during the day, if my eyes get tired working, I guess it's still right out there. Anyways, basements are good to turn into a bedroom, right? Right when I'm talking about naps and how comfy that couch is. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Lily. I did see this pop up over there, and then I got distracted. We got a new member, still a Double Treats member, of course, because she was one of our original members. I think you know how that goes. Credit cards get changed and whatnot, so I still honor that. We got a Double Treats member using her monthly super chat. That's another reason I might need to bring the couch back in here because how do we do this? How do we do this effectively, right? Get back in the oh, she wants a treat. She wants a treat. Now they both want a treat. You know the rules. Get back. I'm just trying to get you on camera. Okay, you guys want to do a toss? Ready? Ready? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh! Pippa got two. Pippa got two. She stole it. Uh-oh. We better do this nicer. We'll do it nicer. Set. Dallas is like, I don't want to risk this one, Dad. Wait. Wait. Take. Good girls. Good girls. We'll give Dallas one more since she lost her little treat. Here you go. She starts to like that one's bigger, Dad. I want the bigger treat. Thank you, Lily. Oh my goodness. Kyle says gold and silver for floss. Let me try to get this squared back up here. Whoop. Hand out tinsels. Okay, well, if I had tinsels, I'd throw it at the screen, but I don't. I don't have anything. What a boring show. I don't have enough props. That's the only prop I got. I just make myself look ridiculous. Let's be nice for a while. In case we got any more new viewers, they'll actually think I'm a respectable YouTube host of a live stream, which I doubt. I doubt. Okay. Oh, that would be awesome, Brandon. I believe you're down in Texas. I don't know when that will be. I do now that we're familiar with the coast down there. Texas could be nice to visit, but we'll have to see. That might be a while till I'm back down there. Although who knows with this new business, I probably will have to travel. I don't know how that's going to work. Of course, I'll have the travel trailer will be my mobile office. Who knows how often, how long? Obviously, I don't want to be away from Paula for a long time, but if I have to drum up business or go to a client, that type of thing. So we'll see. Who knows what the future holds with that? Yeah, every morning I wake up, my thoughts are different on it. Mostly good, mostly good. Lily says Ava will not be live Monday and Wednesday morning. She has the flu. Thank you for telling me that, Lily, because it is on my list because I'm trying to remember to remind people. So at the end of the show, we'll just do the reminder for Steve's show somewhere around 10 in the morning tomorrow. Hopefully she's doing okay. If she's out there, she does rewatch a lot of these. So Ava, if you sounds like you're not doing well, I hope you feel better. Um, yeah, that stinks to be sick around the holidays. Up in Canada, when we watch the news, it sounds like there's a lot of flu going around, and it's a nasty one from the sounds of it. Like they're talking, like some of the rural hospitals. I'm trying to remember the story, but people passing away, and yeah, it's not a good one this year. So, from our perspective, we got to be careful, Paula, that we don't catch that before we go to Fiji. If we catch it, well, I don't want to catch it now either. I'm just gonna stay home and hide in my little green room bunker, and no germs will come here. No, that's not any fun either. Da, da, da. But thank you very much, Lily, for pointing that out. She knows where I was gonna go, especially by the end of the show. No coal for the Grinch. He gets a present this year. Yes. Am I the Grinch? Our problem around here is Paula and I both like to just if it's a Christmas gift, we just give it. part, right? We don't necessarily wait. We're getting a little bit better. If I could get my deliveries, that would be helpful. There's a couple services I'd like to call out, but I don't want to give anything away. Yeah, that's one of my frustrations right now and it's hard to say there's a blame. Well, I could blame one of the parties, uh, but I won't. But we've had some rough weather, and so I think weather is playing a part of it. But I will say, if it's not where it's supposed to be tomorrow, I'm going to start getting very frustrated. And then the other is supposed to be delivered to the house. One I've got to go pick up. So we'll see. Paula already knows what one of them is because she made a personalized calendar last year, and I told her ahead of time. I said, I want to make one this year for you. Well, for us, kind of. So she did one last year, and I loved it. So it was a great idea, and so that's one that I'm waiting for. It should have been here a while ago. And these aren't things that I ordered last minute. I swear, this was like the beginning of the month. I was on the ball, even with everything else going on. And yeah, I think it's the weather slowing things down. The other thing she doesn't know about, so shh, don't tell Paula. And she's got one wrapped upstairs, so at least she gets one. And then what was then two other things. So then there was another one which she got a month ago because it was like a little paper cutter that she could use for her business. And I figured, well, she's going to use it most now. And then if I wait until Christmas, it's like she's getting, the markets are over. So it'd be like 4 months before she's going to get good use out of it. So gave her that, of course, ahead of time because I knew I still was going to have other things. And then at the last market, I don't know if I shared this. I don't have it to show you guys. Sea turtles are kind of our thing now. We've got, sea turtles from Paula gave me one early on, then our wedding, and we got to swim with them. So at the last market, they had these really cool, giant, like this size sea turtles, and we got one. We were thinking about doing three for actual steps to like the shed or something, but we decided on one. But it was a great price, $20 Canadian for a paver stone, basically that is got color on it and shaped like a sea turtle, and it looks really nice. I don't know. We might regret not getting more of those later. As of right now, because we're like, we don't know. We're trying to save our money for Fiji and whatnot, but we really liked it. We're going to regret not getting at least one. So right now, we just think it's going to go up against something as kind of a decoration more than a stepping stone since we've only got one, but we'll see. And I've still got a next year. One of the projects I'll have is doing some sort of groundwork or bricks or concrete or something between the house and the shed to make that look a little nicer because it gets kind of muddy right now and there's a bit of an area that doesn't have grass. So we'll see. It'll be like next April that I'll be like, man, I wish we would have got more of those stepping stones. So I do see Steve with Desert Adventures in the house in my current screen, and I'm of course behind like you guys are used to. But hi, Steve. So because Ava has the flu, Steve will be the first live stream in the morning from the sounds of it around 10 Central, somewhere in there. Uh, I never know the exact time. I always just grab it from Ava's live stream, but I believe that's correct. So let's see. I'm still in my chat. I'm still at 6:10, and it's almost 6:30 here. So let me catch up. Okay, there's where Steve came in saying hi to everybody. How's it going, Steve? Glad to have you. Um, oh, and of course, I missed another member super chat from the exotic Canadian wife of mine. So she's a Double Treats member as well. Let's go crazy. Thank you, Paula. I love you. All right. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't mean to show off my shirts there. That's all my dress wear, guys. That is my entire dress clothes collection. I might have to expand that now that I've got my own business. But all right, let's do some more treats from Paula. Oh my goodness. These dogs have been getting spoiled with all of Paula's petting and brushing and everything lately. Pippa, there's been a couple nights where I think two dogs have been taken out of her fur and she's still as fluffy as ever. So I don't know. All right, you guys gotta get back here. Get back here. Get back where they can see you. Now sit. Sit. I promise I won't throw it and you won't lose your treat. All right. Wait. Take. Ow! You bit my hand. Wait. That's why you do flat hands and not. Oh. Wait. Take. Luckily, they don't bite too hard, but oh my goodness. Talk about biting hard though. Elsa the bird. When was that, Paula? It was a week ago or something. I was changing something in there. The dogs were outside, so I wasn't being real careful. And Elsa flew out And so I'm running around the kitchen, running around the living room. She won't come to me anymore, but eventually she gets tired and then she kind of gives up, right? Well, she flew in behind all the pots and pans at one point. Luckily, Paula saw where she went, or I would have never found her. And and then she flew in under a bunch of blankets in the living room. Well, I go in and try to put my finger under her legs, but she's not going to step up. So I, grab her, whatever. And she's biting my finger all the way back to the cage as I put her back in. Now, Floss will probably be the one that says you're not supposed to use your hands to do that. You're supposed to use a mitt like they do in the pet store and all of that. But I don't suspect they're going to be flying under her shoulders and stuff because they're so out of work with that. And even when began of last year, I worked with them for a month or two trying to get them back in that habit. And they are perfectly content for the most part in their cage. I think that is the first time that either one of them, Pippa, what are you doing? Oh, she wants her balls. This dog is obsessed with balls, tennis balls. I just can't say anything around here. I think, all right. I get it. All right. Where are we at? Sorry, Dallas. I didn't mean to just shove you out of the way. All right. Time to catch up. Let's catch up. I'm sure we've got something important to talk about. There, Lily says, you know what I love? I love knowing people on the other teams where even if we lose, I know somebody's having a good night. I think I've said that before. But like in 2 weeks, right? If the 49ers lose and I'm kind of down, at least I know Lily's having a hell of a night, right? Because going into the playoffs, they'd be the number 1 seed. I suspect. I don't remember who they play next week, but all right, let's go ahead and end this poll. It went up a little bit. 12 of you have voted. That 2/3 of you have been nice this year. 1/3, you're with me. You're with me, and I didn't vote, so a little bit more than 1/3 of us. We got everybody saying hello. Kyle, you're at the Thursday and Saturday nights games. I don't watch that much football anymore, partly because we're in Canada. And I used to watch ESPN and all of that stuff all the time, and I just realized how much time gets sucked into that, right? And you think every game's that important. It's like I gotta step away. Anyway, so I do like to know when the big games are, and I luckily I made a point to watch both of those games because both also had implications for my team. And I don't think because we don't have ESPN, I won't get to watch our game tomorrow night. So those are my 2 games to watch this week. And most weeks I don't even need to watch a game unless the 49ers are on. But those were definitely 2 games worth watching. Now, the Green Bay and the Bears, not I don't know. That was just as exciting. I think it was a shorter time period that they came back. If I remember right, they needed an onside kick, which they should have never got. But the 2-point conversion in that Seahawks game, oh my goodness, just bizarre. You almost I don't know, you just kind of they go through, they have this big comeback, and then they fail the 2-point conversion, and you think, okay, you saw the momentum going in their side, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, they didn't get that, so there goes the momentum and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, when they call in the I even when I was watching that, I was like, was that backwards? But there was such a kerfuffle going on that you couldn't really tell. And yeah, sure enough, when they go back and do the replay, gave them the 2 points and then led to the overtime win. Both of them were just bizarre, but yeah, really good classics. I hear the Bears won today. Yeah, they won last night, but yeah, the Bears won a big game with the Packers. Now, since we're talking football, I'm gonna look up here real quick and see the biggest one I think that I was kind of watching, but they were still going as we started was the Detroit and Steelers game. And I'm pulling it up. Steelers were up. It looks like the Steelers are still up. Now, I know a lot of Michigan people, and I love Detroit. But if Detroit wins out and 49ers lose out, which they're playing all good teams, so it's possible, that would be the one way that the 49ers don't make the playoffs. So I'm sorry, my Michigan friends. I am kind of hoping that Detroit doesn't make the playoffs for selfish reasons. But it looks like, and I know Diana in here is a Steelers fan. I don't know if she's in here because I'm so far behind. But if Diane's out there, she's happy. So there's somebody in the room's happy no matter who's winning, right? But the Steelers are up 29-24. I'm just gonna scroll over here because that's the only one that hasn't ended. Houston, oh man, Houston barely squeaks by the Raiders. That's almost embarrassing. Houston's in this. Houston should not be messing around. They've made a big comeback. And Jacksonville beat the Broncos. That's impressive. And they needed it because Jacksonville, Houston, and Colts who play us tomorrow or 49ers tomorrow, they're in a tight. That's one of the few tight races for the playoffs on that other conference. And some of those other games don't really matter. Tennessee beat the Chiefs, which Patrick Mahomes going down with that, I think, ACL tear. They've just I'm tired of seeing them win all the Super Bowls, but I also don't want to see that, right? And it looks like they've had a very rough year. They're out in the playoffs and whatnot. All right. And then Carolina was the other big win today. So okay, enough of that. You know what? At some point, I want my 49ers to win, but the games this week have made some really good TV. I stayed up later than I wanted to with the Rams and the Seahawks. I'll be honest, if Lily's still there, they went down 16, and I was in the living room, and it was fourth quarter. There was like 10 minutes left, I think. And I started to let the dogs out and brush my teeth, and I was going to go into the bedroom and watch TV with Paula. And then I think, oh yeah, they got that punt return. And so it was a quick turnaround, right? And after they had fumbled or something near the goal line and then did a 3 and out, it was like, okay, this game is over. That's what I was thinking. Big mistake. Punt return, and all of a sudden they're within one score, even though they were down 8. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I stayed up. I don't remember how late it was, but I was tired the next day. What was that? Thursday, Friday? Yeah. Anyways. Oh yeah, Kyle, I saw that. Metcalf, who used to be on the Seahawks, wasn't he? Because if I'm thinking of the right player, he's on Detroit now. I don't know if he actually connected with the guy's face, but some guy in the stands with crazy blue hair, well, I think it was a wig, somehow got this. Metcalf's a big receiver. He is a muscular receiver. That's what always made him so difficult because he was in our division. If I'm thinking of the right player, he's a big guy. Just throw it up to him and see if he can catch it. Anyways, some fan got him to get over by the sideline, and he must have said something, and Metcalf took a swing at him. It didn't look like he connected it. It ain't going to matter. Now, the interesting thing to me will be I'm trying to think who the Lions play. If they lose tonight, I don't know. Because Packers lost, they might still be in it, but just that they won't. I think if they lose tonight, if they lose this in the next 2 minutes, I think they won't be able to kick the 49ers out. And if 49ers win tomorrow, no matter what happens tonight, the 49ers are fine. But that's a big if, right? I don't know. But Detroit I still think they're close enough to the Packers where there'd still be a possibility even if they lose tonight. They play Minnesota next week, which is a competitive team. No, they're not going to be a playoff team, but that's a good game already. Now, if he get, I don't watch ESPN anymore, so I don't know what the familiar or similar suspensions and such would be. I would see that being more than a 1-game suspension though, which would mean, if I'm right, again, not a very educated guess here though, that would mean that he would be out for the final game against the Bears, and they will need to win that one. So that will be tough, and that will be interesting to see what penalty he gets. I'm curious what the fans said, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm torn. Like you just can't take that swing. But anyways. Floss is she posted this at 6:16 and it's now 20 minutes later. So I probably need to just zip up. Okay, let's do some dedicated catching up in chat as I keep getting off. Floss, I know you're talking about how to get the dogs on screen, right? She's saying folding chairs. I don't know if they'd go for that. It could be worth a shot. Um, Dallas, sorry if I look funny like I'm going like this. Dallas keeps going under my arm. They've got a bad both of them have a bad habit about that, but Kyle says, I feel the stress slowly. January 5th, my target date back to work. Did you get the surgery? I'm missing something here. Okay, so I'm gonna get the. I hate to take the NFL because I'm very curious about the score, but I'm gonna go back to the live chat and try to watch. Kyle, okay, see Kyle saying Metcalf will be out at least a game. That's I figured that. There's no way that they can't, right? That's just too damning for the NFL. Um, but yeah, can they give them to me? To me, if I was like the commissioner in charge of that, that'd be like a 4-game suspension. I don't know what the standards are, but I'd be like, there's no room for this. I don't care what implications this has. That cannot happen. 4-game suspension. That's just me off the top of my head. Now, I don't know what they'll come up with. I don't know what they're unionized and they've got their whole process to complain about. Oh, that's too long and all of that. But Lily is not doing Christmas this year. Well, hey, you're here. You're celebrating Christmas with the Lane Clouds and the Grinch. Ow! I somehow hit my eye. Oh my goodness. I apologize if I'm missing some context on some of this, guys. I hope things get better for you guys, Lily. No present spoilers, Debbie says. I've already given. We are both terrible about that, where we get a present, and Paula's worse. Paula's like, she gets excited and it comes in the mail, and she's like, "Oh, just here, take it." So I do know that there's 200. I think two for Braden and two for me under the Christmas tree, and I don't know what they are. And then I went in her office last night. Yeah, while the game was on. Sunday? Yeah. Last night during the game, she was in her office doing her thing on her computer and candles and all of that stuff. And I go in to it was a break or whatever. I was missing my wife. She wasn't out in the living room with me. Understandable. She couldn't have cared less about the teams. But go in and visit her, and all of a sudden I see her kind of go like this, like she's covering her computer screen. Luckily, she just thought, oh, she was looking at something sea turtle. She told me today she was looking at something sea turtle related. Like I said, sea turtles is kind of our thing, and so she just, well, maybe I would get it, and I don't want them to see it, something like that. So we try. We're just not very good at it, but yeah, Steve's saying flu bugs going around there too. Man, it keeps coming up in CTV, which is Canadian TV channel. They've got like two. They've got Global News and CTV up here, and yeah, it keeps coming up. And I keep looking at Paula like, man, the flu must really be going around because it keeps coming up in the news with different things. Now we're in Canada. Like, the healthcare is typically debated a lot. We need more doctors, this type of thing, and all of that. But yeah, it is definitely going around, and I don't think this year I got my shots because I'm covered now. Where last year I didn't have my flu shot, I didn't have my COVID shot, because I didn't have a health card up here. Um, I think, yeah, the year before I did, but I got it down in the States. This year I've got it, but I don't. From what I'm hearing, it's not a good match with the strain that's going around. So okay, this will give me context. I would ask if you would all keep my husband Will in your prayers. He has nodules that have grown in his right lung. That does not sound good. I like Will. I haven't seen Will for a while, but yes, everybody, please keep Will in your prayers for his lungs. I'm not sure what nodules mean, but it doesn't sound good. Lily, would you please let Will know that Paula and I will be praying for him, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that will be praying for him as well. See, like Floss and Steve and Kyle. This is what happens when I'm 20 minutes behind. Floss says, "Yeah, go ahead, use your hand. Pip was just gonna bite it." Yeah, I should know better, but thank you guys. He quit smoking again. A week ago. He has to go back in 3 months. Okay. They do say, and I think we've mentioned it on here, that Paula has quit smoking. And they do say that when you quit smoking, you you know, there's obviously long-term effects from smoking to begin with, and I did smoke, right? For a few years in college when I bartended. And then I started running half marathons, and I I was like, "This is ridiculous," and I quit. But yeah, there's long-term effects of it. But yes, there's also the if you quit, and Lily and Sandra know this, that your body responds very. But there's still a huge benefit to quitting. So hey, look who it is! Kobe must have been out doing deliveries. He's been an angel this year. I'm not. I don't know. Are you sure about that, Kobe? I'm sure he has. Kobe says not gonna be super active in chat, mainly just listening as I back up for pack up for my Christmas travels tomorrow. Just wanted to let Nate know the Packers lost. Yeah. That's gonna set up well, quite frankly, you know what? Whoever won that game, it was gonna make I mean, the Bears probably needed it more, in my opinion, because then they play the 49ers and then they play the Lions. I don't remember who the Packers play, to be honest with you, but I think the Bears had a harder route. 49ers have a hard route too, but Floss is going to go ahead and disagree with you, Kobe, and say you are on the naughty list, sir. I did say I was going to catch up in chat. I don't know if that's going to be true or not because I got myself so far behind. We got Alan Schaefer in the house. Live in Pennsylvania. What does that make me? I don't know. Means you like chocolate? Isn't that where Hershey, Pennsylvania is? I don't know. I've been to Pennsylvania, and the funny thing is, so I've been to Pennsylvania, but not like you think of. I'm trying to think of the two ends. One end of the state has Philly, and it's escaping me the other end. But it's a huge state. The population centers are on the west and the east, right? Where I've been is right in the middle. Where Penn State is, I think that was the airport that we flew into because I did an exam out there. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere in winter. But I did get to go see the 9/11 memorial. That was something else. Not good way or bad way. It was you go to that and that it just changes your perspective. And I went with one coworker who I remember her crying and not really knowing what to do because I'm like, we're friends, but I'm not gonna like hug and console you or anything. But yeah, tears and I was fighting them back just listening to some of the recordings and whatnot. And then we also went down to Gettysburg with a whole group of people, and that's kind of a crazy experience too. So, but yeah, I have my experience in Pennsylvania is a good one, but it's not like the places people think about, like the Liberty Bell and Philadelphia and all of that. But I do see Lynn coming in over here on my live. Sorry, Lynn, I'm far behind, so I'm kind of trying to watch people coming in as well over on my other screen. Good to see you, Lynn. I'm gonna catch up and chat by the end of the live stream. I'm sure. We got it's Sunday and the playoffs are coming up. We're probably talking more football than Christmas here, but that's okay. Metcalf was a CL. Okay, yeah, he was for years, right? So Metcalf, I'm thinking of the right player. He would drive even the 49ers defense nuts. He's just a physical beast, right? It's not that he's slow or anything. He's just a tall, built guy. He's not like the fast, wiry ones, and he's a tough matchup no matter who you have, no matter how good you are, because a lot of those defensive backs are a little bit shorter to begin with, but quick and speedy to have catch up speed and whatnot. But it's hard to get somebody to line up well against him. So yeah, huge loss, huge loss. Just now that I know I'm thinking of the right person. Detroit playing for draft picks now. Oh, does that mean? Let me go back over here. That might mean, although I will get a quick update here. 45 seconds left. Pittsburgh is winning 29, Detroit 24, but it looks like they've got it in the red zone. Oh, they're playing for they want to make the playoffs, it looks like. They got 45 seconds left. I'm sure okay, I'm gonna go back to my other screen here. They're not out of it yet. Kyle is saying Detroit win. Now that's on the current one. So now this comment I have up is from 6:34, so 10 minutes ago. He is saying on the current one, Detroit win. I am refreshing the NFL website right this second. I'm not going to pull up And now it's showing me 22 seconds left. So Kyle might, I suspect he's watching it on TV, and TV's probably ahead of this. But that would also mean the game's over. Although 5 points, yeah, they can't kick a field goal. They're in the red zone. They got to get a touchdown. Then that would have huge implications for both conferences, right? Because Steelers really need the win. They need to keep up with Baltimore, and Detroit needs to win. Just a second, 10 minutes ago, Kyle, 10 minutes ago. See this right here? Detroit playing for draft picks. Well, I don't think Kyle thought that they were going to come back. If they did, let me go back to my other screen. We'll see. Uh, Kyle was saying Detroit win, and now I see Kyle saying called back. So there must have been a review, a replay, or something. I'll have to watch the highlights of this one, but it sounds like there's some exciting stuff going on for all you Michigan folks out there who are Lions fans. I don't know. Either way, I know people that support both teams, so I won't be selfish and say lose, because I do think hopefully that the 49ers will win tomorrow. But he says, okay, I'm just going off of Kyle's updates here. First and goal, 13 seconds left. What yard line are they on, Kyle? We're gonna do we're not doing a live replay or anything because I can't even see it. Oh man, these games this week, I'm telling you. And this is another one where both teams really, I don't know. Steelers may not need the win quite as much as Detroit. Detroit needs the win. Kobe says, wish I could watch just as soon as I got into football. I moved out of Michigan and can no longer watch. Yeah, when I was on the road, the 49ers would have good games. And you guys have heard me about being in Texas when they played the Cowboys and going to the bar and have to be kind of like, don't kind of keep it on the down low that I was a 49ers fan. 8-yard line, Kyle says. So first and goal on the 8-yard line, 13 seconds left. I'm going to predict it goes to Metcalf. Since we're all talking about Metcalf, he's an he's a big target in the end zone. That or your tight ends, right? Oh my goodness, this is exciting. I'm excited just watching Kyle give us the updates. But yeah, when I was on the road, I would have to watch YouTube channels that would have people that were watching the game and they couldn't like play the audio or anything, but they'd just give updates. And I'd be out in the middle of the desert. It'd be a 49ers game. And that's how I kept up to date. I couldn't watch the games unless I was in a town or it was in the playoffs. I wasn't going to like drive to a town to go to a bar or anything. Yeah, I just watched YouTube channels dedicated to basically you watch them watching the game. Unfortunately, some of them got really drunk, and by the end, they got a little bit ridiculous at times. They were younger and whatnot. No problem with that, but for me, it was kind of like I just want to know what's going on with the game, guys. Uh, oh my goodness. I did not. I feel like I'm missing out on what's happening to everybody because Debbie was hurt earlier this year and had surgery, and I didn't know about that. Kyle says not on surgery or not on the hernia surgery because we talked about the hernia and that he would eventually need one. I think broke femur and hip instead, opposite side of hernia. Oh boy, that's a rough one for somebody that really needs to work physical labor type stuff. I don't know how much work you'd be doing over the holidays with drywall, but maybe you would. I don't know. Oh man, buddy, you said January 5th is when you go back. Paula's birthday, so hopefully you're feeling better. But also Paula's birthday, so all good things coming on January 5th. So you got a couple weeks still before that. So, man, that sounds painful. I've broken both my ankles. You guys know that. But a femur, some of your big leg bones, like ankle bones are pretty small. That sucks. Let's see here. Let's get Kyle. I'm looking for my Lions game update. He says, "LOL, fourth down, flag as time expired. So depending on the flag, you might get one last play. We'll see." I'm sure Kyle will give us an update. And Kobe must be watching the game because he says, of course, they throw a flag. I better be careful. Careful what I'm reading. Of course, that's not a bad word, but And then Kobe says he watches off my so he's playing fantasy football and follows it through that. I used to play fantasy football, and that's probably where, when I said I realized how much time I was spending watching football. Fantasy football is fun, but man, it sucks all of your weekend. Well, not, especially now that they spread out the games to Thursday, for Sundays, all day Sunday, Monday nights. Now, when you get near playoff Saturday nights, you end up dedicating like 4 nights of the week to watching football. Fantasy football is fun, especially if you got good friends to play it with. You get the banner and whatnot. And I used to have a good league that I enjoyed. Um, I'm looking at the chat. Just we're gonna see what's going on in the game. We're getting our updates through Kyle and maybe Kobe. Oh, Floss is saying you need to borrow Nate's bubble wrap suit. I've still got it. I've still got that. 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna blow my nose quick. Okay. Brandon saying, yeah, it was fun. Played the free version. And we never. I can't remember. We put a little bit of money on it, but never much. It was more the bragging rights, right? If you got friends who are competitive and really into it. Oh no. So Will's the nodules on his lung could be cancerous. So okay, we're all gonna pray for Will. Man. Whew, that's you guys have a lot of I'm so sorry, I was trying to react to that, but also read this. I need to focus on one thing. So between Kyle and Will, that's some big ungood news. I hope. Well, Kyle's already I'm assuming has had surgery or something, and then can go back to work. So that will heal, but that sucks. Cancer sucks no matter what. We don't know yet, but and of course you always, if it is, then you hope that it's something treatable. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Lung cancer. I know there's some that are worse, and then late stages obviously worse as well. But yeah, we'll just we're cheering for you. We're praying for you, Lily. Okay, where are we going here? So, okay, so I'm gonna look back over here, try to figure out what's going on here as I was trying to read a potential cancer and then also look at a game. Those are not two things I should be doing at the same time. Uh, so Kyle says game over, no replay, Pittsburgh wins. Kobe got teased by fantasy football. Oh man. Okay, so it looks like the Lions did not come back. So the Steelers needed that win too. So I don't know where that puts the Lions. I think they probably still have a chance if the Packers don't do well. But I don't think the Packers had that tough of a schedule if I remember right. But okay, we got now. I'm glad I said hi to Lynn when she came in because now I'm finally caught up to that comment. At some point, me watching this and being 20 minutes behind will merge as I catch up to what I'm catching or looking at in real time. When I was a senior in high school, so this is going back to the 9/11 memorial, I believe. Honorary band and art students went to New York City, visited the 9/11 memorial there, and there wasn't a single dry eye. I'm trying to think of how old you would have been during 9/11. So 9/11, I was because I can remember I was either 18 or 19. I was working at TGI Fridays, and my sister's godfather was staying at our house, helping my mom paint the house. And finally, I can't remember if it was my sister or Bobby that came up and said, "I feel like you need to know what's going on," and woke me up because it was like 10 o'clock by the time they finally did that, and went down watched the news. Now, at that point, you definitely get, especially when you're 18, 19, and you think immediately, are we about to go to war and am I going to be drafted? Like that's the first thought that goes in your head, right? It was a little bit, I was a little bit insulated because all of that was going kind of on the East Coast and I was in California. So it's not like quite as impacted, and you don't know as many people that are directly as impacted. But yeah, um, so some of those things that any kid growing up these days that experienced that and then experienced COVID and experienced all these shootings and whatnot, it's just I don't know. Uh, every square inch of the walls covered with photos of people who passed. Yeah, because I was like was it 3,000 or 5,000 somewhere in there? A lot of people. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm finally to the point where Kyle said they won, but we've since found out that they didn't. So I don't want to confuse anybody by pulling that up. Oh my goodness. Alan's gonna. Oh, thank you, Alan, because I was like, I know that's it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's the one how can I not think of that when we're talking about the Steelers? So Philadelphia is in the east, that's right, and Pittsburgh, Steel Town, is in the west side of Pennsylvania. Where I've been in Pennsylvania was in the middle of nowhere. It's still a beautiful place. I just wish it wasn't during the middle of winter when we were there. Uh, yeah. So, and I don't want to go too far down this road. When we went to the memorial, um, sh- I'm trying to think Shanks, not Shanksville, but anyways, when you go to the memorial, they were still building the new memorial, I believe. Um, but the thing that would get you, like Kobe's talking about being in a room surrounded by the walls, the not the Pennsylvania Memorial at the time when I was there, the thing that hits you is you'd have rows of these headsets that you would put on, and they were calls from people on the plane leaving messages for their loved ones. And it's yeah. I can't even replay them in my head or I'm gonna lose it here. It's intense. And just hope people don't have to go through that again. But never understood how people could think it was an accident at first until I was in the New World Trade Center and saw a plane flying level with my floor. Yeah. Well, and if you remember back, it was a few years before that there was another attempt at the World Trade Centers, right? So I think all of us want to believe it's not intentional, but there had been other attempts to bomb that building. Nothing like hitting both with planes, and I think we all got comfortable with air travel because I think it used to be pretty commonplace to get planes hijacked, and that kind of went away, and then all of a sudden 9/11 came. But I missed something from Debbie here. Oh, that's awesome. Good. Thank you, Debbie. Between some of the news that I'm hearing for the first time on this live stream, I'm glad we got okay. We got this will be where Kyle will be in a little bit. He'll be up and walking and without a cane. I just hope, Kyle, that's not curious the long term effects of that. But anyways, all right. What else we got? Only get in an hour. Kyle confirming, yeah, Detroit lost. Okay, scrolling. Okay, there was no flag. Okay. So let's where are we at on time? Okay, we're an hour in. We don't have to go super long. Especially since I want to feel how hot these lights actually are. Like the light bulbs are hot, but they actually do seem like they're kind of safe. So let's give the dogs a couple treats. Tell you what, let's have a little fun. Let's just throw a bunch. Let's go crazy. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. You ready? Don't bite out of my hand. Wait. And they go crazy. All right, where are we at? Oh, I probably should have kept it on them for a little bit, but okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna go too much longer here. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the little festive. I don't know. It's getting warm in here, but oh, the lights are probably adding to the heat too. Now that I think about it. So we'll see what the videos come up with. I'm making videos for my business. Eventually the green screen will be used for travel videos as well. We'll see. Um, Next week, I think, depending on how this week's goes, I don't really know what the plan is for this week. I know Braden is coming home in 2 days. Make sure I'm getting that right. Yes, 2 days we get Braden home, and obviously our attention will be spending time with Braden while he's home. I don't know how long he's staying. He's driving out with a friend, so I think it depends on how long his friend stays. So our schedule this week is kind of up in the air. We're just going to enjoy it, and then I'll do work if there's downtime, that type of thing. Next week, I do plan to go live. I think what I want to talk about. I keep hearing all of these things, and hopefully, I get a little bit more time to research. But all of these things about traveling to the US, now politics aside and the whole Canadian thing and tariffs and all of that, ignoring all of that, because I do know that there's some people out there. I don't think it's as many as you would have at first thought, but some people are avoiding going to the US just because of tariffs, basically, or political reasons. But there's also a lot of things, if you're watching the news, about it's getting harder and more expensive to be a tourist to the US. Not only for even in other countries, like, so the US isn't alone in this. Like Europe, it's getting harder as far as your visas. There's more requirements going into Mexico as past the border area. You've got to be more, it's a little bit more formal. You got to be there. They want to know where you're going and all of that. Basically, we're getting into like this uh very secure, we big brother state where they got to know where you're at and what you're going to do and all of that, which it's been that way, but it's getting to a whole new level, I think, obviously for safety and stuff, especially when we get some of these things going on in the news. So the US is not alone in that, but Canadians are even having to kind of register and whatnot now. But recently, and this is the one that's a head scratcher to me. And I think this is, and I'll research this more before I say this definitively, but there's a list of countries out there that are higher risk countries, mostly. I might, once I get the list and research it, I might say this is kind of crazy for this country. But where you got to give 5 years of social media history and all of your emails and all of that. I don't know if I could even do that. Because like I remember when Pokemon Go came out, I created emails just to play the game on more than one account that I don't even remember what the email address was. They're long gone, but I don't know if I could certify that, "Hey, yeah, I've told you all my email addresses," because the email addresses are a dime a dozen. Even right now, between work and a couple personal plus YouTube, well, a couple YouTube channels, that type of thing, they add up quickly. And to give a 5-year history of all of that, I get why they want it, but that's quite a hurdle, especially with how active social media is. So that is probably the one that's triggering why I want to look into this conversation a little bit more. The 5-year history just seems crazy to me. I get why they want to do it. They've probably missed some of those hints along the way. Um, but if you use social media a lot, especially like if you are a YouTuber, how can you certify that you've given everything? I don't know. When I for my permanent residency, yeah, I had to turn in, I think, socials and such, or give examples of it, and I think they researched it. I didn't have to just turn like everything, history of 5 years. Because think about how, like, if I scroll back through my Facebook, for example. Now I haven't been active since I started my YouTube channel on Facebook, but before that, I'd post all the time. Right? So trying to keep track of that, I don't know. The other one that's really interesting is the national park fees. They're doing things with national parks and BLM land and all sorts of stuff. I haven't been able to keep up on all of that, quite frankly. But if you look at the national park fees, the fee for people that are not American has gone up astronomically. Now, what I hope for Paula and I, because I would buy the national park pass for the 80, 85, whatever it is. So for most people in the States, it hasn't gone up. But if you're a Canadian without somebody that you're driving with, and I don't know, maybe they ask when you pull up, "Are you all American?" Because I'll give them my pass, right? That gets my carload in. But I think there's also other things with people bringing in buses and tours and such. So all of those fees are going up for international travel. travelers the requirements. There's fees across the board and other things just for the visas. Just a quick search. There's a visa integrity fee that went up. Not to mention the fee for the employers, right? If you employ people from overseas, that fee has gone up like to $100,000 or something, right? So it is becoming quite expensive to be a tourist to the US. Now, if you're American, you might like that. The parks will be less crowded. Maybe you don't care. Maybe sometimes people that can't read the signs and such go off trails or do stuff that they're not supposed to, not knowing, right? Probably innocently enough. So maybe that makes you happy. I don't know. There's different angles that you can look at it from. Now, here's my prediction. Even traveling from the US to other places, I know there's some fears with everything going on and how are American travelers perceived in other countries now? Are they throwing the Canadian flag on their pack so that they get grouped in with Canadians, which I'm sure the Canadians don't like? But next year, gas prices are low. It's one of the saving graces of inflation right now is gas prices are extremely low, even with the war in Russia going on. Now, if the war in Russia, I don't think it's going to end, but if it did, then the gut of supply, the oversupply in oil and gas will go even crazier, right? But next year, I suspect it's going to be a road trip year. You know, the dollar value is still quite elevated, right? The US dollar, I think last year I said this would be the year to travel abroad because the dollar was so strong you can go further with your money. This next year in 2026, I think it's going to be a stay in the country. The US dollar is going to deflate in value as the central bank kind of catches up to other central banks and lowering the rates, which weakens the dollar. Of course, that dynamic can always change, but a lot of other countries lowered the rates quicker than the US. The US is it's kind of slowing down, but I suspect they'll still do two more next year, which will probably be dropping more than other countries, which lowers the value of the US dollar. So cheap gas at home and the devaluing of the American dollar over the next year, I think it's going to be an American road trip year. And then, of course, all these fees for outsiders, if you will, or for people from other countries coming in are going up. So you'll probably see a decrease in that. So maybe it all works out. Now, I see Floss saying gas is still high here. Now you're in Illinois, right? That's like it's still so the places that it's still high, California, Illinois, that's all taxes. So that's not really a supply and demand thing. That's you're you're paying taxes. That's going to be your state that would have to lower those. And that's one of those things is there's affordability crisis. I think in Canada, I think when all of that affordability stuff was going on, I don't know if I should say is, but they would waive some of those taxes to help people afford life, right? Going to work, going to the store, it all kind of ties in. But yeah, but that's my prediction for next year. I think as long as I get some time this week to kind of look into it a little bit more, I think that's probably what I want to talk about next week, right? Let's talk about where we're going to travel in 2026. Sneak peek. You guys now know what I think. You know where my head is going. But I'll try to get a little bit more information on some of these fees and some of these other restrictions of people from other countries coming in. Now, my personal opinion, uh, is the less that people travel outside of their country and mingle and mix, if you will, the less we understand each other, right? So if people stop coming to the US and people from the US stop going to other countries and our cultures and our we don't understand each other as well, then you end up with more differences, less understanding, especially when you get into politics and other things. So I don't necessarily look at it as a good thing. I can see where some of the national parks, especially like the Grand Canyon, or New York City, some of these places that get a lot of foreign travelers coming in. I can see where some people will say, "I'm okay with that." That might be your opinion, and that's okay. I like going to other countries myself. I've been in another country myself. I like having people come in or going on the cruise, and we were having dinner with people from Israel, right? And just kind of cross pollinating, if you will, and hearing each other's stories and getting those perspectives. I really value that. So it makes me personally a little bit sad, but I do also understand that especially the national parks one, I'm torn on, right? I want people from other countries to come see the beautiful national parks, but those are Americans' land, right? So I get it. If the the increase in fee to somebody that's already paying for hotels and everything probably isn't going to make that much of a difference to them either. So we'll see. We'll explore that more next week. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope everybody has an amazing holiday. Please, 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 you guys, I learned this tonight, and maybe some of you guys did. Will's got something going on with his lungs, could be cancer. We're all gonna hope not. But please pray for him. And then Kyle, of course, broken femur. I didn't know. I'm sorry, Kyle. He's I know we've talked about a hernia potentially in the future too. So some injuries there for Kyle, a good friend that we got to hang out with in Michigan. Very cool guy, very nice guy. So Kyle, or not Kyle, Kobe, no, we're not going until midnight. I've got a beautiful, exotic Canadian wife upstairs. I'm going to go spend time with her. With that, Merry Christmas, everybody. We will see you next week. And if we don't see you next week, have a good New Year. Bye.